I bet you can't do it, 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 do it like do it, 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 do it like this. I bet you can't do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it like do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it like do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it like do it, do it, do it, do it, do it like this, like this.
Mic check. Okay, there we go. I was trying to check the mic. I got to figure out why my internet ain't reaching into my office. But for now, we here. This is what it is. I'm about to hop on BMU panel, and then after that, we're going to come over here and rock out and do our own show. Maybe, depending on how I'm feeling and how things go. Pretty sure YouTube ain't going to promote or push this video, so it is what it is. But if you just so happen to be here, rock out with your boy. All right. Enjoy the show.
Prayers for you, because there may be a time where you need it. You know what I mean? And somebody fell short in your neighborhood who didn't pray for you. Well, I'm here to let you know I'm storing up some for you guys, whether you know it or not, because somebody needs to, because somebody did the same thing for me, and I want to make sure I do the same thing for you. Now, my whole thing is this. That's probably a part of the reason why a lot of guys don't go to church, is because nobody prioritizes them and nobody wants to send help for them. And I think that is a shame, especially if you're one of those type of people, man, who likes to protect your family or whatever. You still have to arm your family with spiritual knowledge. How much of this information is actually passed on from generation to generation? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those small things that as a man, you want to make sure that you're fully equipped. You can fight off or whatever intruder come into your house, but can you spiritually protect your wife? Can you spiritually protect your children in your neighborhood and the people that's around you? And a lot of times, man, our only example of that is when people tune in to see us from time to time, and they can get a little glimpse of God from time to time. So, you know, those brothers are right. They may cut up and act a fool or whatever, but they mean well. And if that's the only portion that they get to see, I want to make sure we put on a show good enough to say, you know what, I think I might try it. I think I might listen to it. I think I might get a word. They might get something out of it so they can move on and learn a little bit and move closer to themselves, so they can have the ability to protect themselves spiritually, so they can have the ability to protect their families spiritually. So that's the main reason. And the takeaway, I say, I want to make sure that we store prayers for each other, even in the midst when we don't understand exactly what we're up against. We just know that there's somebody there who's got your back. Somebody's guarding that particular gate. Because here's the thing, whenever you have a fortress, you want to make sure you got somebody protecting you on all sides. And I think as men, we have to get back to doing that. Sometimes, even if we don't know how to do it, but we still want to make sure we do it from those who know how to do it.
If I could co-sign that about prayer, there's a song, which song is it? I think it's called "The Love We Made" by Prince, and one of the lines in it is, "Sacred is the prayer that asks for nothing." And I believe in ambiguous positive prayer. I believe in, and I have yet to pray for y'all brothers' efforts, but I will beseech the Creator on your behalf. But I believe that my ambiguous positive prayer covers the shit you forgot to pray for. You didn't know to pray. The shit you didn't know to pray for. My positive energy. You know what? Look here. I don't want to see Bean's face no more until I get my positive energies. You know what? Look here. I don't want to see Bean's face no more until I get my music.
Donate better off of Jeff tonight when I started the show. My theme music.
If you didn't know any better off of Jeff tonight when I started the show, my theme music for my intro now is Beanz song.
I didn't know. I wasn't here for that. And you know what? I'm not giving Beanz no more credence or kudos because I'm arrogant, especially when it comes to music. Music is like my lady. You disrespect music. It's like I get the same energy as you disrespected my lady. And y'all had gas Beanz up and how good he was, and I was like, all right, Lord, I'm gonna be courteous. I ain't gonna because I grade really hard. And I heard his shit, and my only grade was mix. Nigga, you know how hard it is to get that for me? And then for me to get my niggas, y'all niggas got to hear this shit. I'm trying to tell you. This dude here rap like a grown-ass man over dope-ass beats. I dig him, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm, well, where's his music? Nigga, I don't know, on his hard drive. I don't know. Shit.
Now, I will say this.
I'm going to talk this kind of shit every time I see you.
Now, before you say anything, Beanz, guys, welcome to the show tonight. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the share button. If you want to donate to the channel, you see the cash at the bottom of the screen, or you can give a super chat as well. But the likes and hit the subscribe button, that is free. Go ahead and hit that for us. But we want to take a small little break here, and right after this, we'll be right back to get into these videos and whatever else that we know we're gonna get into tonight. But here we go. Here's a small break. Beanz, ladies and gentlemen.
They say don't come around here with your bling on. It could get ugly for a nigga like Klingons. Fuck you and your flag, I use that bitch to pee on. Type of shit we pee on, niggas that's peons. Used to roll blunts with my cousin from 6th Straight. Used to shoot crap and sell crack like every day. Bottles of Hennessy looking out for my enemies. Never found Jesus, guess he wasn't a friend of me. Men lie, women lie, you know the rest. Money on my mind, on my grind, I'm puffing less. Hanging out with Worm, we on Douglas and Sawyer. He told me never trust a bitch and never lie to your lawyer. Said the red bone bitches is spoiled. The dark ones is royal. The white ones will spoil you, but ain't none of them loyal. Lord, I never heard more truth in a sentence, and still I tried fucking them all. Can you forgive me? Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery, but I remember vividly what these streets did to me. More nights stealing, less nights chilling. The more shots they hold, the better they feel it. Yeah, Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery, but I remember vividly what these streets did to me. More nights stealing, less nights chilling. The more shots they hold, the better they feel it. Yeah, Father, forgive me, but I'm talking my blood pops. I cannot forgive you for your life, it's a blood clot. Half a century still stuck on that needle. This is why I lie and tell the world I don't need you. Shit, I overcame my addiction to weed, bro. It's obvious you love dope more than me, though. 86 Regal creeping up, that's my cousin Nate. Kevin got an 87 Cuddy, so we celebrate. Jody got a Corvette, he took it off a customer. European face on that Chevy, cause I'm a hustler. Headed to the lake summertime, that's all I know. Swerving a Suburban, curbing and deserting. Flirting with this virgin nurse from West Suburban. She said she loved Gerb and served me after her shift. It's lit like the Sunday service. Sins of a father, now I'm addicted. Forgive me for my brash delivery, but I remember vividly what these streets did to me. More nights stealing, less nights chilling. The more shots they hold, the better they feel it. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Beanz, ladies and gentlemen. He's on the show tonight, man. Appreciate you for being here, my brother.
Beanz made it.
Yes,
Beanz, I got a list. I got a playlist I used to have for when my kids was little. I play this music on the way to my ex house if her boyfriend put her hands on my kids. That song is on the list, nigga. I'm finna go do something.
Beanz, remember the last conversation we had, right? Me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no more excuses, brother.
Come on.
I was rocking, man. There's no more excuses, Beanz, man. Get out your way, man. Come on, man.
And I will say this.
That's all I'm saying, Beanz.
Now, I do see Bolo in the chat tonight. Bolo, if you want to come in by phone, you could absolutely do that. I know that you may want to chime in on what you're hearing. So if you want to come in, sir, you can. The link is at the top of the chat. We got Anton in the building tonight. He said, let's see what he got.
He said, staying in the background tonight because I'm busy celebrating my birthday with my family. Happy birthday, my guy. As always, great show and awesome music for the break. Ain't no problem, my guy. Again, man, I'm just going to wear this Hulk Hogan out for you. Here you go. All right, man. Okay, listen, don't start. Please don't start tonight. I can't. I'm not playing with y'all. Okay, leave me alone. So again, man, we're going to play these videos from last week that included Beanz in the conversation. We're going to start with the first one. Here we go.
Beanz hit on, right, is the prosperity gospel, right? The most, how you say, the most charismatic of us, right?
No, I don't want to play that one first. I want that one to be last.
Take the time to say, man, let me figure out how we can cycle this money through our parishioners, through the people who coming in here and putting the money in here every day, because people are, and I want to know if anybody would be willing to admit this, people are coming into the church and they are putting their money in the collection plate the same as the people who go down to the liquor store and play the lottery. It's the same mindset. They're trying to purchase something. They believe that they're gonna get something in return for putting that money in, even if it's in the afterlife. But you know, most people think I'm doing this good now because I want it to return to me tenfold, pressed down, cup runneth over. That scripture, you know, that they always say when they asking you to give them money. People believe that, but when is the church just saying, "Here go this money every month"? We donating this money to one of our parishioners every, like, it's not happening.
Beanz, to answer your question earlier.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and answer the question. Then we're gonna get.
I mean, we're gonna bring
welcome to the show, DJ Ham.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Hamp in. My thing is this: that you said that was one more thing that the church couldn't do. Well, the church don't build airplanes either.
It says Bill Winston has over 20,000 members. Now I don't know if they all are brick and mortar members, right? I know the church did hold a lot of people. I don't know how many it actually held in the building, right? But let's just look at that, right? It's 30 days in a month. I'm just gonna say on average, his members donate $30 a month. I'm gonna just say that. So that's $1 a day, right? We know they do more than that though, but that would be $1 a day. 20,000 people giving $1 a day. Is my math correct, Hamp? Is that not $20,000?
Yeah, I think your math is right.
So he could literally be giving each parishioner $20,000 a day.
All right, and then the last one.
Can see through the BS though, right? One thing Beanz hit on, right, is the prosperity gospel, right? The most, how you say, the most charismatic of us, right, can see through the BS though, right? If you, because Beanz, right, how he thinks, right, almost to a fault, right? He get, you know what I mean, right? How he process information
To a fault, Beanz, to a fault.
and so then he looking at it and say, "Oh, this don't make no sense." How many of the brothers, right, that have influence are saying this doesn't make any sense, right? And now the church is 90% women, and the pastor clapping cheeks left and right, boys and girls. It seemed like, right? So it's lost. The impact, and then you don't have the brothers there anymore. You know, so I just wonder, like, what has been the effect, and how long do you get to coach a team that's taking L's? Because we always put the church at the top of our community, and we've been taking L's since what, 1970, 1960?
60,
and so at
60.
what point does the church now got to say, you lose your coaching job? My bad.
All right, there we go. So and so I guess we'll plan our seat of discussion starting there. Beanz, so hearing that from last week and this week, are you standing firm on what you said? You want to add or deduct anything from what you said last week?
No, I mean, just for the people who are watching now who may didn't see it last week, you know, the point that I was making in that particular clip is that, we know they get more than $30 per person for a month, right? And that's the whole thing about it. Is because, well, if that was $20,000 a day, that would be what? For if 20,000 a day, 10 days is 200,000, 30 days that's 600,000, 10 months that's 6 million plus another 1.2, so 7.2 million for the year. And we know they're doing more than that. That's the point. The records show that they doing 12, 18, 20 million a year, you know? So it's just about the fact that these are, for a lack of a better term, our politicians, our mayors, our governors, our spiritual fathers. They are our banks, our teachers, our lenders. Like, they are in a position to play all of those roles, all of them. My first high school was Providence St. Mel. It was a church school. It was $550 a month to go to that school. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you learned some shit. God damn.
Hell, I got kicked out after the first 3 months for fighting.
Okay. I bet your parents was like, woo, shit, this is $500 a month. Ah.
Yeah. I mean, this shit was almost as much as the rent, right? I mean, and I'm just saying, teaching, they have the capability of being everything that we might need, man. And the fact that they are not participating is more than disheartening.
I think that's fair to say. That's unfair to say. And I'm gonna agree.
You think it's unfair to say?
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna agree with you at the end. They are participating, and they're participating exactly as they were designed. Why do you think that these churches get such great tax breaks? It's because the government goes, wow, you got 25,000 members? Well, that's 25,000 people I don't have to worry about thinking on their own. You're going to program their thinking every 7 days, not to count your broadcasts, not to count your programs, not to count your revivals, not to count your concerts. And they're not going to buck me. Here's what's going to happen. Every 4 years, every 2 years, somebody locally, and every 4 years, I'm going to march who I want to control you niggas through here. Y'all going to okay them, and I'm going to let you keep robbing your people. That please somebody. As a matter of fact, I don't know how you feel about Dr. Umar, but he has an excellent video on the Black church that's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. And it sums up perfectly what you got, what we are discussing here is the front of the house. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Vegas, but any casino you go in, there is a universe going on behind the scenes. Like, you can take a right turn and go down a hallway that no patrons are supposed to see. And there's a dry cleaners, a grocery store, a tailor, like there's a life going on back there. Y'all are discussing the casino. Y'all are discussing the slot machines. I'm talking about the niggas that bring the change to the counting room. That's what goes on back there. Church is never. It's like the police. You are arguing about an institution that is working exactly like it's supposed to. The problem is that young Black people have woke up and said, this shit don't work on me. I'm not doing. That's who left. Young Black people left. And God bless them.
Well, yeah, but that's the point about. I'm not like debating. I'm just saying the point of having a conversation about it is to say what they should do, right? Even while understanding what they actually are. If you have a specific set of people who are literally funding something right? And it's not like the church isn't like the government. They don't get to tax you. You have to give them your money
Right.
willingly. You see what I'm saying? You have to you know, for the sake of argument, you have to walk it in there and
Thank you
hand
for
it
your
to
love
them.
offering, brother.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I
not
beg
like
your pardon.
it's not like you just get your check and all of a sudden your offering and your tithes is already gone, right? So because of that, there's a level of control that the people have, while understanding what you're talking about as far as the programming goes and the establishment of the church itself. But I'm just saying, like, that to me, I think people could, and when I say could, I don't mean like will. I just mean could, if they decided to, right? Be like, no, this is not how this is gonna work from here on out. From here on out, we're gonna give you this money, and you're gonna make sure this money goes to people as needed, right? To get what they wanted. I forgot to ask him that scripture he brought up.
Shout
BMU
out to him.
Acts. It was in Acts. I just remember that, where he talked about all of the people coming together and everybody bringing what they could, and people leaving with what they needed. I've never seen that ever in the history of my life.
That was the original purpose of tithing and bringing the crop that you've reaped and sowed. So we came and bartered. That's just a barter system. And exactly right, man. You know, y'all lay it out so elegantly, but the church is that, you know, they're not obligated. Yes, I'll say that. They're not obligated, but over the last 60 years, 80 years or so, you can, well, visibly where, you know, prior to, you know, slavery and all of that, it was still used the same. But now we have autonomy to move around more, to connect more. And the fact that we had generations before us who built business together, and the church was sort of a promotion of that, because it brought the, you know, the businessman, the work-minded man together, and they were able to build in that capacity. But since that little shift, man, after the 60s, you know, just sort of the Dr. King, even in that time, he was a man that went into the churches and spoke to the men of the community along with their wives, along with the families. And then sort of like after that, it's not about the growth of the family and the man, even the boys. It's not even about really helping the females either, to just sort of move continuously, virtuously, and the teachings of that, the importance of self, you know, you know what I'm saying, self-autonomy, self-guidance, self-importance. It's sort of like, it's almost like the church, we listen to pastors, to me, sometimes they just be pointing the fingers at somebody. And instead of pointing the finger at the bigger issue, it's like demands of the look like you, work hard like you, been subjugated. It's their fault. They're not living up to the, but most brothers are trying to work hard. Most brothers are not wilding out.
It sounds like you're afraid, and I don't mean any disrespect, but it sounds like you're just afraid to say that the white man did it. It's okay to say that they did it. Instead of making it seem like it just happened, right? Like it didn't just happen.
How about that?
This was facilitated, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing is by design. None of it is an accident.
Yes.
Listen, I want to say something. You guys are talking about. Let's also say that we understand this legislation for this, right? The churches have been exempt from taxes. In return, to tell the people you might be able to write off a little bit you give them. And like the masses, of course, you get a little write-off that you kind of think complicit. But the truth of the matter is, recent legislation that just, one of the things that the churches had to do was not get political. I think there was recent legislation that took that guard away. Now, they can fully and freely be political from the pulpit. I think that's recent, right? Under this administration. So all I'm saying is, well, let me just finish. Y'all can go fuck off all y'all want. Listen, there was a book I read when I was young called The Unseen Hand. And between shit like this, there's always an unseen hand. There's an unseen, and I'm not saying it's a good, it's just an unseen hand that the masses will never really reach to, because they don't see, like my man said, shit's by design, right? And the power of the pulpit is being used, and the quid pro quo is you can get a tax exemption. exemption as long as you play ball the way we want you to. And we'll quell the masses by saying if they donate to you, we'll let them write their little piece of shit off, right? On their taxes. And for a lot of people, that might just be enough because they don't want to think any deeper than that. That what they're writing off is giving the church the tacit approval to do whatever the hell they want. You know, so I'm just trying to say it's all connected, and we all are we're all being manipulated until we wake up, right? And then you say, well, how much can I do against this? Now, for some people, leaving the church is their answer. But maybe that's not a complete answer because the church is going to go on with or without you. You know, so I'm just saying, I mean, all this stuff is good conversation. You know, I don't know what we're going to do about it, but it's a good conversation for you because maybe there's a solution for the individual and the collective. I don't know.
Okay.
That's why we're talking about it right now.
I gotta push back on what you just said.
Okay.
You said the church is going to go on with you or without you, and I don't know whether you meant this energy, but it almost felt na. And here's why it doesn't work. That's like a pimp, a hoe wake up and ain't gonna do hoeing no more, and he go, you know what? This pimp hoe gang gonna go on with you or without you. Okay, great. That's not a deterrent for me leaving this bullshit. I'm leaving this bullshit because it's strong enough to go on without me.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with that. I think you misinterpreted what I said.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I agree with what you just said. That it's gonna, people are leaving, right? And that works too. People might be leaving because they know the shit's gonna go on with or without them, no matter how much you want to rebel against it. Now, Mr. Bennett comes up here saying you're a fucking coward if you don't go to the churches and try to change it. Now,
okay.
Well, hold on for a second. Let me just say this. You can say it you want. And I hear what he's saying. But every single man has a certain capacity on what he thinks is worth fighting for and what's not fighting for. So I can go into somebody's church and call a pastor a fucking asshole. I'm going to kick your ass unless you change what the fuck you're doing from the inside. And no, but at the same time, I got to take care of my family. I got to do all kinds of shit. So do I want to fight that battle or do I want to just go on, right? And say, listen, I know how to read the fucking Bible. I know how to take control of my house, whether I'm in that fucking building or not. You know, I know mentors. I got a couple of buddies. They're well into the church. We talk about the Bible all the time. Do I got to be there and listen to this bullshit from the pulpit? Or can I go ahead and get some spiritual shit and try to guide my... So you got to pick and choose your fucking battles in life. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, so I don't disagree with what you just said. I'm not saying because I'm giving them a pass. I'm just saying, you know what? Why do I want to fight that shit when I know I can have a full life and believe in God and everything else without putting up with that bullshit and burning all my emotional currency on trying to change motherfuckers that don't want to be changed. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can smoke a bag of that. I just I like to say Anissa says God's church will go on with you or without you. Well, you let me know where God's church is because that's why I left church, because I went looking for God and I could not find him. You know where I found God? In my tears, in my work, in the need of other people, and I hear his voice tell me exactly what they need, and I go give it to him, and they confirm the number that he gave to me to them, and I didn't speak to him. In the hand of my grandmother when she pushed my head out the way, and right when she did to chastise me, a bullet came and stuck in the wall where my head was. I got 100 of them stories. I can tell you right where God at right now. I tell you where God is right now. He right here right now because we talking. And it's the very premise of Shameless Plug, which is coming back very soon, the First Church of Holy Shit, where I am the pastor. Somebody fucked up and told me God was everywhere. So I pray from right here. Save me 10% and I never miss a game. The church is a hustle, and it always has been. Yes, it's done good. Kind of like cops that'll climb a tree and get a cat out and then go over on the next block and beat a brother to death. Yeah, church's always been there. But again, the Bible got truth in it the way Kool-Aid got water in it. It's just one of the ingredients. Truth is an ingredient in religion. Its core purpose is control. And everybody likes to high hurdle that. The reason that you have a church that sits in one spot and the choir wears one color and the usher boards are in the kitchen this week and the Bible was put together to control the masses. Everybody gets in love with how they feel about God and ignore that. God was here long before a Bible. God was here long before a religion. Jesus had no religion. Religion is some of y'all shit. And I tell you what you're doing right now. I tell you what this conversation reminds me of. What these debates remind me of. She passed away. She just died. I had a dog, Marley. She's lived to 10 years. She was American Bulldog, pedigree dog, bought her from a groomer. Very protective, very smart, very loyal, knew my family from other people, didn't have to train her on no kind of protection. You come in my house, nigga, that's your ass. And she was not playing. But no matter how much I trained her, no matter what I fed her, no matter how many times I took her to the vet, no matter how many times I took her to the groomer, no matter how many times I played Frisbee with her, she, for the life of me, would never do my taxes. Do you know why? Because she was a dog. The church is what it is. It's what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. Go fuck your mom's dog, Viper 235. It's exactly what it looks like. Stop acting like it's something else, fellas. You've been bamboozled. You've been played. Here's the real truth. It ain't a nigga on this panel closer to God than any other nigga on this earth. Not one. Beanz was not any further from God when he was incarcerated than a bishop is praying. But that's the dirty little secret that they hustle you with. And unless and until you are willing to have a relationship with the Creator and fellowship with other people who love God and let him be in the midst of that and constantly check yourself, you gonna need this book. You gonna wonder why it's collapsing. It's gonna make you do, oh Lord, nigga, they pimping you. Stop letting them pimp you in the name of your God.
Real quick before anybody else jump in, we got another super chat. Thank you so much again, Anton, man. He's out with his family, but still supporting the channel, bro. I appreciate you. Follow the super chat. He said, look at Joel Osteen. The building he turned into his church was an arena for an NBA team, the Houston Rockets. Yeah, he's absolutely correct. It hosts 20,000+ people. It's not sold out, but it's not an empty seat in that place every Sunday, and they have 3 services every Sunday. I think they're pulling they probably do $1.5 million, $2 million a Sunday.
A Sunday, nigga. A Sunday.
Yeah, a Sunday. But anyway, man, thank you for the super chat. We'll take a little break real quick, give you a little something here to show some appreciation, and we'll be right back. Here we go.
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Come on. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Oh, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. All right, and that's how
All right, man. Appreciate you, Antoine. Appreciate you. All right, man. So let's get back into it. So anybody want to address anything? Well, I ain't gonna say anybody.
Yeah, I wanted to jump
Lost in translation. Yeah, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, here's the thing. I like to give things its proper perspective. and to make sure that we level things on its own playing field. I want to make sure that when we talk about certain churches, we're talking about the church that we really mean to talk about. When Beanz was talking about $20,000, per person, bringing in on Sunday 20,000 people, that's $1 a person. That's on a Joel Osteen level. Most smaller churches only bring in maybe about $300-400 a Sunday.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
yeah, that's correct.
I think that the reason why I say that is because my granddad was a trustee and a deacon, and so he used to take me up there when I was a little boy at the end of the church, and when they were not at the end of the church, but once they did collections, and they would bust open the little envelopes, I used to help them do that. And on average, most people would only put in $1. Sometimes people would put in change. They weren't putting in $100 bills like y'all think they are, because you have to remember the people that they're getting this money from are poor, just like everybody else. So if you think about it, on the average demographic of the population of the church are women. And most of the times they don't put a whole lot of money in church because they got kids to take care of, and families to take care of. So that little bit of money that they put in there is that little bit of hope they need to move on. And sometimes they don't put a whole lot of money in there. Now, true enough, you'll have people who are well-to-do, throw $100 bill in there every now and then, but that's very rare. But on the average, the normal person only puts $1 in there, and if that, most of the time is usually change. So, depending upon the size of the church and depending upon what that church is doing, it only benefits the church when they have a surplus. And sometimes when they do the mortgage, they may not be able to cover the mortgage for that particular month because there was a deficit because they didn't take in that much money. So that's the main reason why they have little revivals or whatever to make up that difference, so they can use that to pay for the mortgage for that month. So that's the main reason why they have those smaller little events, church choir events and stuff like that. So, and then every now and then, if they have a little extra, they'll save up for a pastor's anniversary or something like that, just to show appreciation, because most of the time they're taking L's. So every now and then they'll have something big, and they'll have, people come in, larger people to come in and speak, and they'll set that money aside for rainy days. So I just want to make sure we put everything in its proper perspective as far as what's really being brought in versus the perception of what's being brought in. Just letting you know, I can't sit here in good conscience, not say anything, knowing full well that the churches ain't bringing in money like that, especially coming from poor people.
Okay. Let me know when it's my turn. I really got about 50 pounds of problem with what you just said.
Go ahead.
Okay. And with love, brother, with absolute love, the small churches do the most damage. Because when you take this, and that's why I have this video queued up. Do you know we were talking about the same thing as the difference between a working man and a bajillionaire that go to divorce court? When Michael Jordan went to divorce court, I think Juanita got $180 million out the gate, some crazy number like that. Do you know what he said while he was writing the check in court? I'm not going to miss this. That's different than the dude that just got laid off at UPS and is now going through divorce, and his wife is taking half. That little money that woman gave hurt her a lot more than the baller that threw 100. Now multiply her hope, which, by the way, hope was a dirty 4-letter word when my kids grew up. Hope is for shitty planners. That is, you're feeding the hope of a person who obviously is not in a financial position to think and move better. It's worse, brother. It's worse. I don't, and I'm not casting no dispersions on the goodwill of your father and the brothers like him. I'm talking about the game. They were in good standing and in good conscience, just playing the same game on a much smaller level to much more vulnerable people. That's why you have 76 storefronts in big cities. You can go down certain streets and find 15 churches before you can find a church to check it. Because they're all playing the same game on a lower level. And the ones who can figure out how to play it on a higher level, they get invited into these church circles you're talking about, into these church revivals you're talking about. That's a money circle. That's a big money circle. And now the common man don't have money no more. Church was where the common man dropped his money off and what a millionaire did on New Year's Eve, because he got to dump this or give it back to his uncle. I've seen Magic Johnson with my own eyes 4 times on 4 different New Year's Eves give $1 million to the West Angeles Church of God in Christ at 11:30 on December 31st. And forever and ever, Bopper, forever. I've seen him do it. This is what's happening. And I was going to stop right there, but Bopper likes it when I talk. So here's another 30 seconds for his monkey ass. What you are looking at is a system woven. The church is this separation of church and state has never, ever been the truth. It's been a facade for the parishioners. That ain't got shit to do with the politicians or the preachers. Nothing. I don't know how much more of this you need to hear before your heart is broken enough. And again, bruh, play that Umar video.
All right. Give me just a second.
Chicken wings for that money, even though they was no good. But you do get something for your money. But when you
or any other of this man's shortcomings, as opposed to what the video I just showed, you are a part of the problem. And I'm not talking about the panel. They're too wise for that. You monkeys throwing shit in the chat. If you say one syllable about Umar other than what I just brought up, your black ass is a part of the problem.
So, Lost, did you want to respond to anything that you just heard?
Mm-mm.
All right. Beans, you got anything you want to add?
Forgive me. I
I'm
was
going to argue about food in my mouth, but still, I hear. You know what? That's the most articulate I've heard Omar in a long time. That's a young Umar before he got called out.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't think you should address it though, Uncle Joe. I mean,
what do you mean?
I agree with you when you say "here you go." I know why you're saying it. I'm just saying I don't even want you to waste your breath on it.
Okay, bro, I'm gonna call a thing a thing. Now, I'd have just said we need to talk about what we just saw. And what did RPay do? A no look behind the back pass for some other shit. Oh, this is, come on, bro. Can we talk about what we just saw, please? Nothing else but what we just saw.
Jeff, I'll say, seeing that video, I used to think like that before I even knew, what YouTube was. I think I came to this mindset when I was probably about 34, 35.
No look.
And it just fueled me to just try to be a better person amongst the world of men. I told myself, a white lady tried to send me to jail. I told her I'm not a nigga. I said, I'm an educated black man in America. She's like, I can see you in jail because. I said, I'll never be a nigga again. And it just changed my life, man. What he said was the words, not exactly, but 95% of the way I felt. And that's what got me really working with inner city communities, man. That's what made me really, put my boots to the ground and just, yeah, man, salute, man. I know both of y'all from the Chi, man. I love the West Side and the South Side. All over. Maywood, everywhere. Anywhere. Places y'all couldn't go, I didn't go, I was there.
That's where I went to school.
And yeah, man, it's just a salute to him, man. It's he's not on that same path, but we living in that reality of how it's sort of bankrupt us over the last 50, 60 years. All of our lives up on this panel.
So our pain, I see you lubricated your throat. You got something you want to say?
I don't know. I don't know what we're arguing. Listen, I've seen, nothing's absolute. I think we're trying to talk in absolutes. I mean, because Lick is correct. A lot of small churches might have their hearts in the right place, still can't get past the human condition. listening to what Umar said in that little clip. I don't completely disagree with him, but is it universal for every church, every time? I know people get taken by the church, even the small churches. My aunt, my own anecdotal experience is she came into some money with my grandfather, but she was dedicated to the church. Fucking pastor took all her money. We had to take him to court to get that shit back. So, you know, I'm sitting back and saying, but I didn't cast, I just brought it up now, but I don't cast a dispersion on every church that every minister is going to do that. That particular church did. And we had to fight to get that money back. You know, I lived long enough to see a lot of little shit, right? You know, and I thank God for that. But I've been around for a while. I've seen a lot of fucking shit, man. You know? So that's all I can say. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I've been through the goddamn paces. You know, so let me just say, I'm not right all the time, but I've seen a lot of shit, and I've guarded myself from making blanket statements on everybody based on what I've seen, because I know it's not universal and it's layers to almost every goddamn thing that we live. And I'll just land it.
But it's okay. I think, well, I don't know what you mean by blanket statement, but I think one of the things that frustrated me when I was in school, and the first time I heard the word absolutism, I was in philosophy class. And from that moment on, I understood the difference between generality and absolutism. And I don't think a lot of people do. It's okay to speak in general. It's how you move conversations forward.
I agree.
Right? We can't judge every individual person, right? Our Payne bald head in the mug, Jeff bald head in the mug, Ferg bald head in the mug, Beanz bald head in the mug. See how long that took? If I could have just said, man, this panel got some bald head ass niggas on it. It don't matter that BMU got long hair. All of us bald head in the mug. We know for sure. We don't know what Lit got going on. He got a hat on. But 4 of us, which constitutes the majority. You see how it's okay to speak in generalities? Okay? So it's okay to say this bald head ass panel, right? And we got to get comfortable with that, right? Whether we talking about preachers, whether we talking about, politicians, whether we talking about our parents or any other demographic that begins with P, prostitutes, pimps, pushers, punks, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. We got to be okay with that. I'm telling you, I had my apologies, BMU. I had to step away for a minute. But I want to say this, man. It's a church called Mount Calvary.
Yo.
This is probably this one on the west side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of them called Mount Calvary, right?
I'm talking about the one out south.
Yeah, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of them actually with that name. But this particular one, man, I remember it was a male black pastor, and he wasn't that old, right? He was probably in his 40s or 50s, and that's why I kind of like really resonated with him. Besides the fact that I could walk to it, literally 3 minutes, you know what I'm saying, from my doorstep. And I remember this one day I went there, and it was the whole BMU. What's the pastor's name? Who was the one who was on camera saying close the doors?
Marvin's Sapp.
Yeah, Marvin.
This was that, but we talking like 99. This probably not even in the 2000s when this happened. It's probably like 99 when that happened, right? Ushers, if you're giving 20 and up, walk on this side and all of that. And that really bothered me, bro. Really, it just, I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, like, so if I got up right now and tried to walk out, these people supposed to try to stop me? And I'm talking about in this moment, I'm full-fledged vice lord, gang banging. This ain't really what you want, but at the same time, I'm worried about my soul. You know what I'm saying? I'm gang banging, but I'm still worried about my soul. So,
you was Peter.
Type shit, right? So
and his blade on his hip.
Right?
I'm like,
You were playing.
I'm knowing I'm not about to give any money, but to be honest with you, it was mostly because I didn't have any, right? Because when I went to church and I had some money, I gave something. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always 10%, but I gave something, right? I was raised to do that. So it wasn't that, but I was just so offended by that, man. And that like really started the train of me moving away from church. So that effeminization of church that people talk about, I didn't even get to witness it. And I probably should count myself blessed on that. It's not that I can't see it now, but it's different when you see the results of something versus when you experience it, right? You can be like, oh man, that's messed up, you know, such and such passed away. But if you had to watch them die, that's worse, you see? So I think honestly, it's a good thing, BMU, that you having this conversation every week. This one of those shows that I wish 3,000, 4,000 people, you know, was watching or more. Because then now you really, 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 really get the people talking. You know what I'm saying? It's because I think about it like this, and I'm gonna land. I asked this question, BMU. I said, why are y'all okay with the government taxing y'all for the entirety of your life? They tax your money before you get it. You're okay with them taxing it when you spend it. You're okay with them taxing your 401k, your retirement. You don't care. They taxing it. You all good with that. But if somebody get government assistance, you crying. You can't take it. You can all that welfare. That's the worst thing that ever happened to mankind. Right? Same thing with the church. You okay with them taking money, but somehow nobody don't care that they ain't giving none back. Nobody don't care that some of these same people who going into the church don't got lights when they go back home, don't have food or enough food. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it may not be as bad now, but historically that was true. Now it may not be as bad because of stuff like welfare, not the church. Do you see what I'm saying? The welfare is the reason why less folks is hungry, less folks is homeless, right? Not the church. That's a problem, man.
That's a.
You know, let me ask you a question, and it may seem obvious, but who is supposed to take care of your household?
Who did you say you was asking?
Yeah, anybody. Who's supposed to take care of your household?
You. Let's just go with you. Let's get to you.
Well, to make it a easiest family, right? The ones who are around you, right? And my thing is this: how are we treating our family? You see what I'm saying? Do we make it comfortable for our family to come around? Do we treat them with respect and love and kindness? You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Or do we talk bad behind their back and do weird stuff and all kind of weird craziness? You know what I'm saying? Do we make people feel welcome? You know what I mean? How well do we treat the men of our family? How well do we treat the women or the children of our families? You know what I'm saying? To avoid having to rely on outside sources from the church or even from the state. You see what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I'm just saying because the reason why I say that is because manners matter. How you talk to people matters. You see what I'm saying? And I think if we leaned on each other a little bit more, then we would have less reliance on this other stuff. But my thing is where do you go to learn that? You know, in the absence of a family member missing, or in the absence of the state, you know, not knowing what to do with the state. Everybody don't know how to go get welfare. Just being honest. Most people just lean on Big Mama, whoever else. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. But I think we do a terrible job with loving each other, you know, and we use other stuff as a substitute or a Band-Aid to fix what we're supposed to be doing in the first place, which is taking care of each other. That's all I'm saying.
That's not wrong, but it's like trying to add peanut butter to spaghetti. That's not how I treat the people in my family. And again, that's why I'm so glad, another subject, that the family's being destroyed. We no longer need it. That's how I treat the people in my family has nothing to do with the fact that we were systematically disenfranchised and programmed to point at those who make it out and use those use those people who made it out to ridicule those who didn't. I made it out. Okay, I don't know how many y'all don't know Chicago. You ask somebody about 60th and Damon. I made it out, but I don't ridicule them cats around the way. That had those two. Where that's your subtext implies that if we just did blank, we wouldn't be blank, which is fine, which is easy to say and is true in a vacuum. It's like the points that Republicans make. They make perfect sense in a vacuum until you add up all this crooked shit you did.
Right.
And when you say we don't, it's how we treat our families. It's, well, what stressed that person out? Why ain't daddy here? Who made this thing we're in? Who made the South Side? Don't nobody want to look at that. Do you know why you don't want to look at that? Because you've been taught to go to this place every Sunday to get some salve after I beat the fuck out of you financially, socially, mentally, physically, nutritionally. And nobody was all about what we did. This church thing, and nobody wants to, because you love God so much. Me too. But this church thing was not put together for you to love God. It was put together for you to keep hope alive and be pacified while we are putting our foot so deep in your ass. That's what it's for. And unless and until you're going to be clear and honest about that, we going to ride this merry-go-round all night and the next show you have about it. And there's no way around it. And every time I bring it up, don't a nigga say I'm wrong, but y'all are going to high hurdle it and keep trying to talk about love and what we did. Bruh, the church is fucking you. And there's no way around it. Period. It's fucking you.
Hey, can I read this scripture real quick? Just because.
Hold that thought real quick. Real quick. Let me get this out the way. Theme-based music, $10 super chat. He said, should the church need to serve the needs of the collective, or is it a tug of war to serve the needs of the many, or the few, or the individual? This is not an easy navigation. Thank you so much, theme-based music, for the $10 super chat, man. Go ahead, Beanz.
I think Lost in Translation is the first person that I ever heard say what this particular scripture is saying out loud. Again, I'm not 50, but I'm almost there. I think it's quite a shame the amount of stuff that's actually in the Bible that I've never heard. When he asked us who's supposed to take care of your house, and we all rightfully assume that you supposed to do it. And he said, no, family. Because it's supposed to be a collective thing, right? Watch this. 1 Timothy 5:8. I discovered this the other day while I was doing the show. But if any man provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house. You see that? So yep. The distinguishment there is, I'm not just talking about your house. That's the distinguishment there. You're supposed to be concerned with, right?
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. You're supposed to be concerned with your own people. Right? You're supposed to be concerned with their well-being, their welfare. Right? You're supposed to be concerned with that, not just in your own house. So all these people who get on the internet and brag to you about what they got while they folks is struggling, assholes. And what does the scripture say about him? He have denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
Mm.
Now that's what the Bible say to all these people who supposedly subscribe to it. That's what it says, not me. That's not me talking. That's what the words say. So again, I never had a problem with it, but now having more of an understanding, I really don't have a problem with knowing that when I spend my money or when I work my job and I get my taxes on my check, is money gone, and that money supposedly, because I've already proven that none of you, not a single dollar that you make goes towards welfare, not $1. I've already proven that. But let's just assume that it did. I have no problem with that. That's my way of contributing. That's my way of saying, cool, I don't even got to think about it because I already know, you know what I'm saying, that it's being taken care of. It's people out here who straight because I'm donating. And if I need to be straightened out, I can go get straightened out because there's other folks donating. But see, the problem is that's too much like community or communityism, aka communism, right? It just gets too close to that for people to actually like it.
All right. Lost in translation, you have something?
Yeah, here's the thing. I like what Bean said earlier from the other show when he said that why can't people just come get it? You know what I'm saying? Or just give it to them. And I thought about it. I said, anytime people have to go through welfare, they have to go through a whole bunch of red tape and fill out paperwork and all this other stuff. And these people are hungry. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And I'm thinking to myself, now that to me makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? Once you think about it, that's less red tape you have to go through. So I'm with you on that one, Beans.
Well, I think you still need the red tape, right? Because you need to be able to vet people.
Right.
You know, my point, and I'm not necessarily trying to be combative. I'm just making sure that it's understood. My point was that they need to offer it.
Right.
Not just give it. Right. It's like when I was in military school, when you went through the line to get your food, that was it. ain't no doubling back. Bro, let me tell you something. They had all your aunties back there. So everything was delicious. All the cakes, all the pies, all the everything, and all the meals, all the everything was delicious because it was all sisters back there cooking. So it was fire. But you know, you trying to get back and I forgot to get what you gonna get the first time, because that's it. So we know who our people are lit. We know who they are. So although I'm saying offer it, make sure you counting who is who. So people ain't trying to double back and be greedy. You know what I'm saying? You also got to make sure you do that. I'm not going to be pretending about who our people are. We know who they are.
I think our Payne used the phrase earlier that is resonating with me. You can't let the human condition get in the way of your good deeds. There's always going to be some old trifling ass niggas. I don't care what you do. So do I let the people suffer who need it because the trifling ass niggas gonna show up? No. I gotta, and it is this humanity that fuels your goodness, that fuels your godliness. Not some building you got to be at 11 o'clock on Sunday with your bread. The two are different. Yo, wait till you down low. Wait till you down hard, low. And you reach out to the Creator and something you can't explain happen. That's God. Your excellence is God. Every time you do something excellent, God show up. When Floyd Mayweather used to whoop niggas' ass, that was God. God is in your excellence. He's not in some building you got to show up and regurgitate old English to one another and jump around and hold a vocal shot. God ain't, come on. God is so much bigger than that, but he's been relegated to that for you. And anybody who speaks outside of that is blaspheming, and they worldly and all this other ignorant ass runaway slave bullshit. God is so much bigger than that. He means so much more. Get him out of that book. They only put him in that book to put a leash on your brain. And I don't, bruh, hey, yeah, you know what? At least not tonight. I ain't gonna say that shit no more. Let's keep talking about whatever.
Can I ask something though? Let me ask this. One of the things I had a problem with Joel Osteen, not about how much money he collects every day, every year, the fact that he didn't open this church when the people needed him the most.
How about it?
I thought that was the big. I don't give a shit how much money he got. The fact that he did not open a building, a physical building, because he was so that was his. He had both feet on the earth. There was nothing godly about what he did, and he got a pass. I thought that was the biggest. That's the biggest thing. I thought that I don't even want to call it a mistake. He showed the fact that he ain't sanctified, or whatever sanctified means.
Set aside.
Right. Yeah. Whatever that. Yeah. He was. I thought that was a big deal, man. I thought that, and he got a pass. He got more of a pass than he should have. But I haven't forgotten it. I mean, that's all I'm. That's why I don't really care.
Is that when it was flooded? Is that what happened when it flooded?
Yeah, Houston. Yeah. He told these motherfuckers, "You ain't sowing in my church, my castle, my thing." That's the earthliest thing a motherfucking God could ever do.
Yep.
I never forgot it.
Yeah.
I think our pain just hit the needle on the head. I try not to, and I come up here with y'all because y'all my niggas, but I try not to have this conversation because people want to keep trying to keep this religious mud hut up, and it's crumbling right around your fucking ears. Again, magic is science. The viewer doesn't understand. It's all magic is. Well, the church has lost its magic because more of the viewers than got hip to the science. You niggas is in here hustling. Hustlers see it. That's why it's hard to get usually when hustlers join the church, they become deacons or pastors. Because everything else
ain't worth it.
We see the hustle. This is not about goodness. Goodness is implied. Okay, it's just like when these are the same people who thinks the stripper really likes him. It's a hustle. And as long as you're going to pretend that the God you serve got something to do with this vulgarity, and you're not willing to have a relationship with God outside of this book, you're not willing to ask God the heart. Yeah, I'll say this, I'll land. One of the most respectful comments I've seen on this channel came from Beanz. He asked God a legitimate question. God, why would you not answer my prayer when I wanted to go home and I was in here? And do you know that one nigga even took a stab at it? Well, the Bible says that you ain't gonna take a stab. You ain't gonna say, okay, Beanz, I don't know, but here's what I think, and this is my relationship with God, and I would love to talk to you about that later, Beanz. This is my relationship with God, and here's what I think, and I sincerely hope this helped you with that problem, but I don't know. Let's pray to God together that he give you some clarity on that. No, nobody. Because as soon as you know a little bit about the Bible, the 3 words you don't want to utter ever is I don't know. Don't nobody I know that purport to, except myself, that purport to have read the Bible will give you I don't fucking know. I don't know why God left you in there, Beanz, but I got a few clues. And I would share those clues with you. And that puts Beanz closer to God than you and your funky ass ways just coming up with some mumbo jumbo for a nigga that's dodging bullets. And that's the problem with the church. Church don't want to get real. They love this music, stand around on the Lord. It's time for our offering. And I like the sound this certain way. Calm people, make these porch monkeys think they doing some shit. That shit. And they mix it in with your gifts for music. They mix it in with your gifts for music to put these people in a trance, hustle that bread, see you next Sunday. Those are the core tenets. And ain't nobody talked about the black money in the white bank. Never. True as fuck. They never talk about
it. So as with all this conversation, right? And I know we don't have that answer. How do we pull ourselves out of this shit, man? How do we actually begin to pull ourselves out of this shit? Because the one thing I didn't add when I went on my thing about Joel Osteen was that the most secular motherfucker down in New Orleans opened up his Superdome.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying? Or was it non-secular? Whatever. Non-secular. You know what I'm saying? You know, this guy probably hasn't prayed in years. And he opened up his Superdome. And the Superdome was a big deal back in Katrina. You know, so, you sit back and you observe these things. And like I said, I chalk it up to the human condition. And it's not a negative for me. It's just a realization that as humans, man, we can't avoid the fact that we're subject to the condition. Now, some people, excel past it and understand it. But I think the first thing is to recognize that we're all human. You know, that's why when we have these gender wars, one of the biggest problems in gender wars, people try to make men fight against their own nature. And now we're learning that women have a nature too that has been co-opted. And the reason why they're so strong with it is because it's been co-opted by people who understand social engineering. You know, and they've been trying to do that shit to us, and we're breaking out of it. And that's what's causing the perturbation and everything, because men are starting to say, you know what the fuck, man? If there's no comfort in being some kind of fucking pansy for a woman, or being a house husband, or any of that shit. I'm just not going to go down that path. I'm just saying, our nature is our nature. Hey, when I hear a woman say, the only thing a man wants from me is pussy, I say, yeah, of course. But there's layers to that. Some of us would, want to get to know you. Maybe we could fall in love with you. Maybe we could have a life together. And then I want to bang your ass out. And some guys just want to bang you out and they don't ever see you again. But every man who approaches a woman at some point, a heterosexual healthy man looking for companionship wants to bang out the chick. And we could put soft words in it and all that kind of stuff. Our nature is to look at a woman and say, you're bang out worthy. But I might not get it, and I know how to move away if I'm not worthy of you.
I ain't here, right?
That's it. So I know I'm rambling, but it's all our nature has been belittled. Everybody's nature. We try to act like we live in this world outside of our nature. That's why you don't put fucking men in a female prison, and that's why you don't put women in a male prison, because they're all gonna fuck. I don't need to have social stuff, all that bullshit. You put a man in a female prison, he's going to take advantage of those women because he has the power. You put a woman in a male prison, they're going to get seduced. So, I mean, these things are just simple to me. They're just kind of just blow out there, So you put a transvestite man in a female's prison, he's banging them out 2 at a time. They ain't seen a dick in years. And his stills work. They ride that motherfucker every night. So all I'm just trying to say, none of these things are a mystery to me. I think we just keep understanding that we're primal beings. We all have natures, and everybody's trying to force us to live outside of that shit. That's why the world's all fucked up. I'll end it.
Let me answer your question, R-Pain, if you don't mind. I appreciate your conjecture, but I think a lot of times, sometimes the most simplest things are the most hidden things. Let me ask you a question. Who gains from your salvation or damnation?
Who get when you say servitude, you mean your servitude?
Mm-mm.
Salvation.
Who gains from your salvation
salvation.
or your damnation?
Oh man, I never really thought about it that way. I would imagine you first. You're
Let me
gonna be
ask you a
saved.
question. Who do you think would have the answer to that?
If you're talking about God, yeah, if we're talking about that, but you're individual. I mean, I think it's the way you live. Because if you understand the difference between salvation, I understand what you mean, or damnation, I think the way you live will give you some clues as to where you're going. I think if you're on a path to damnation, I think you know it. Now, salvation is a little bit different, right? Because people do good. And maybe don't think of themselves that, well, okay, I'm gonna be saved because I do a lot of good things. You just feel better. But I think the road to damnation is actually real visible. How many people have you fucked over? I believe in the golden rule. The golden rule is I really believe in that shit, right? And from a secular standpoint, I believe in that shit. I just believe that if you treat people well, you could have an expectation of being treated well. Sometimes it don't work that way, but that shouldn't change the way you believe. And so from that standpoint, I know that damnation is not in my future because I don't fuck over people.
Come on, bro.
I don't. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's how I put it in the terms I can understand.
Right. The reason why I ask that, man, is because a lot of times people like to ask people who are not qualified to give that answer. You know what I mean?
I don't think I'm qualified, but I just did the best I could. But go ahead.
Yeah. The reason why I ask that is because if you really wanted to know, you'd talk to God. But I think you probably need to get over your fear of talking to him directly to yourself. Because I don't have time. I may not have time to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? But God always got time for you. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't need a filter. He doesn't need a go-between. He doesn't need any of that. You see what I'm saying? He wants a relationship with you. And I think as soon as man gets over his fear of God and sit down and have a talk to him, he'd understand that God loves you. You know what I'm saying? And he wants the best for you. And I think sometimes we have to get out of our own way, man. I really do.
No, I agree with that. I do. I do. Maybe I haven't put in those words, but I do agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I think that we had a productive conversation tonight. Next week,
thanks for saying that, by the way.
Absolutely, man. Next week, it's going to be we're going to turn it up a little bit more. Next week, we're going to talk about therapy as a trap to feminize men.
Shit.
So we'll talk about that next week, next Tuesday, for sure.
So is this a flipping tables, or we're going to try to get some women up here to talk about that? Or not?
Absolutely, yeah, I can. But you know what, though?
The door's always open.
The door is always open.
Yeah.
If they want to come up, the link in this is not strictly for me, but if they want to come up here, they can definitely do that. Miss Jenny was going to be here tonight, but she's celebrating her mom's birthday tonight. So shout out to her mom. She posted a video of them out right now having a good old time. That baby boy looked just like his mama. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. If you follow Miss Jenny, she put that baby picture up. I said, Jesus, you mark that baby. Looks identical to his mom.
How's she doing, man?
She's doing great, man. She came up here, was it last Tuesday, right? She was on with us last Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's doing pretty good, man. So shout out to Miss Jenny. But anyway, I appreciate you, Beanz, man. Uncle Jeff, always, man. Thank you, man. If you pass by Def Comedy Jam and make a U-turn at Comic View.
Oh, can I go get my little? Can I go get my little funky ass car? I'll be right back.
Yeah.
let me say this real quick.
What you had to do? Pick your dick off the floor or something?
No, man. Listen, man. For the young man out there, man, listen, man. Life is gonna challenge you every day. Life is gonna challenge you daily, hourly. It's gonna be people that you are close to. It's gonna be people that you don't know. Life is always gonna present challenges. But again, man, you do have a blueprint that you can refer to, and you have to apply it in your way that's going to get you the best results. Don't go off somebody else's interpretation of what they read. You have to apply it for yourself, and a lot of it comes down to the way you move amongst other men. If you mistreat people, like our Payne said, you might have to go through some tribulations for a while. You know, you might have to struggle until you get out of that selfish mindset. But if you got opportunity to do something for someone, and yourself, then why not take a chance? You never know what the reward can be. And I don't measure any reward, whether it's great or small. Every reward I get when I wake up, it's always a blessing to me. But, so love yourself and treat people with respect, especially as a grown adult, 25 and over, 30 and over. You should always respect self and respect others. You never know.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. Uncle Jeff, what you got for us tonight in your shameless plug? My God damn, he almost fell out that chair. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing. All right. I almost saw you fall out that chair, but I didn't see it. Go ahead.
No. I didn't fall. It wasn't that I fell out. It was that my headphones, I left them in the seat. Then I sat down, and these is Audio Technicas, nigga. I ain't trying to break these. I don't have to have a spare $170 right now, so I can't. That was that. Oh shit! Don't sit on them because crunch. You don't want to hear that. Oh, okay. Hey, people, this is the family secret. It is my shea butter company that I started with my children. Everybody in my family, I've been making body butter for years for. Then help people heal scars, help eczema tremendously, and it's because of what's in it. You cannot find a better body butter, I promise you, because every time I find something better to put in here, I don't give a shit about the profit I make. I want to make the best shea butter I can for my people to put on their skin, and here it is. If you go to my website, which is zerofriendstudios.com, and click the family secret, I bet you $20 that there is nothing better to put on your skin. That's a bold statement. It's the truth. Matter of fact, I really want to do the Pepsi challenge here. I think is JT in St. Louis?
Detroit.
Okay, somebody from St. Louis from this show ordered a jar today. I can't believe and praise the creator how fast it's moving, but it is absolutely fantastic. I have different fragrances, and I swear by it. I really want y'all. I want somebody to buy it and try it. If you bet $20 on me, and come up here and crack my face with the shit you use.
All right,
putting that out to everybody.
Well, we appreciate everybody, man, for coming in here tonight, man. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next Tuesday, because it's gonna be on fire again. All right, this has been another episode of Flipping Tables.
Yeah.
Yep, and we out. Peace.
This shit is over. And I ain't playing, nigga.
It's all over, everybody. Skip! Skip! Cut these cameras off me. Skip!
Hit that like button, and hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell, and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm.